Welcome back. Let's go to make question when you see adverb in the sentence. لما نشوف adverb ظرف, you have to make a question. You have to ask with the expression how often. You have to ask by or with how often. What's the meaning of how often? كم مرة. كم مرة. Okay, let's go to the general formation. If you see the sentence with one of adverb, you have to use how often in asking the question. How often? Do or does. You have to add do or does according to the subject. According to the subject. Plus the subject and plus the complement. Okay, let's take an example. She always, as you see here, there is adverb, يوجد ظرف. She always cleans, أخذت اس المضارع لأنها she cleans her room. I want to change the sentence into question. What I have to say? I have to add the first step. I have to add how often. How often كم مرة عندما أرى واحد من الظروف موجود في الجمل I have to ask by how often. بسأل ب how often. Does or do according to the subject. Does. Why does? Because the subject is she. طيب we have here she, he, it and singular noun المفرد they are taking does in the question. باخدوا does عند السؤال. And we have also I, you, we, they and plural noun they are taking do in the question. Okay. How often does she clean her room? Okay. How often? نضع how often. Then you have to add does because the subject is she. والشي بتاخد does. Does she clean? We don't use s of present here again. Why? Because we have here does, so you have to delete s of present in the question. بدك تحذف الاس عند السؤال. How often does she clean her room? And the complement finally. And the last thing you have to add the question mark, and this is very important. Okay, let's take another example. Ahmad sometimes, then we have here adverb, goes to the mall. Ahmad sometimes goes to the mall. As we said before, if you see one of the adverb in the sentence, you have to ask with or by how often. Okay, how often does he, اللي هو سامي, go to the mall? As you see here, goes أصبحت go. Why? Because we use does لأن استخدمنا does. من if you have to delete s of present. Okay, let's take another example. We always, as you see here, there is adverb also. We always clean our room because the subject is plural, so we don't use s of present. The verb is still the same. We always clean our car. This is a statement. We want to make it into active form or change it into question. I have to ask with how often. How often do we? Because the subject is we, I have to add we. How often do we clean our car? And finally you have to add the question mark. Thank you.